Hello, and welcome to another installment of Ask Jack, wherein I answer one single question because all of you are really deep thinkers and ask me questions that require much lengthier responses than I can fit into like a quippy Q&A video. Disclaimer: I am one person with a bachelor's degree in comparative literature. Not in psychology or sociology or medicine or law. I am also, shockingly, not every single trans person on the planet. So please take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Do not go telling someone who is trans that they are wrong because Jackson Bird said the opposite thing. I'm just here today to share my thoughts and my knowledge from admittedly many years of research and listening to people. Today's question: I think I might be trans, but does gender even exist? Like, if gender is a social construct, is being trans even real? Big question with a big answer. Lots of different answers. Here's mine. So saying that gender is a social construct has somehow become a thing that sometimes people say to imply that gender doesn't exist. Gender isn't real. And then in response, you get people, usually trans people, maybe especially binary trans people, fighting back like, whoa, man. Gender can't be a social construct because I feel it and it impacts my life in very real ways. Both of those are right. And actually, both of those are wrong. Let's break it down. Gender refers to your innate sense of being, whether that matches what you were assigned at birth or not. It refers to any combination of how you express yourself, the roles you take on in society, and most importantly, how you identify yourself. A social construct is something that was shaped by society, by cultural norms, versus by biology. So what's really meant by gender is a social construct is that the idea of being a man or a woman or another gender is not innately biological. Rather, the idea of gender was created by society. To super simplify it, if society had not created this idea of categorizing people based on their anatomy, presentation, roles, etc., we would live in a totally gender-neutral world. At least if you think that every single part of gender is socially constructed. Now, I don't think that anyone can deny that parts of gender is socially constructed. It's society that prevents women from having equal rights in many respects. It's society that lets women wear pants but not men wear dresses. And it's society that largely ignores non-binary genders and intersex conditions that challenge our simple two-box categorizing system. But some people would argue, is it really society that has made men feel less free to express their emotions? Or are men biologically less emotional? Did society create the idea that women are less sexual beings, or do they really en masse have less of a biological sex drive than men? And where do trans people fit into all of this? We'll get there. So basically, yes, in some ways, gender is a social construct. But being a social construct doesn't preclude it from having very real impacts on our lives. Like impacting what people call you, how you're treated, what you're supposed to wear, what kind of future you're expected to have, and on and on and on. Those are societally created elements of gender. Now, we could go a lot deeper on how much gender is or is not a social construct and the implications therein, but to get back to our original question, I think what trans people or questioning people mean when they're concerned about the idea of gender being a social construct is, if it's all a construct, why should I care about how people perceive me or what they say I'm supposed to do? Shouldn't I be able to smash the gender binary and get past that and not care what people think? Why do I care so much? Is it valid to care about these things? Am I contributing to society's adherence to a gender binary by wanting to transition? So here's the thing. Let's imagine some utopian, alternative universe where gender distinctions never became a thing. No one is assigned anything based on their external genitalia when they're born. There are no girl names or boy names. There are no gendered pronouns. That's not a way we distinguish people. Everyone just is. Pretty cool idea, right? It's never going to happen in our lifetimes or maybe ever on planet Earth. We have spent far too much time as humans categorizing ourselves, and far too much of the world is based on gender. I want it as much as you do, but that is not the world we live in or will probably ever live in, no matter how gender defiant and fluid post-millennials are. So in the world that we do live in now, these distinctions are real. As socially constructed as they are real experiences and pressures that we all face. And many of the ways that trans people experience gender dysphoria and gender euphoria are tied to the social constructs of gender. They're tied to the ways that different genders get treated in society, the ways that different genders are typically expected to look and behave. And even if you philosophically believe in completely smashing the gender binary, parts of your dysphoria are probably gonna manifest in ways that conform to that binary. As a trans guy, I used to get super dysphoric when I was made to wear dresses as a kid. And nowadays, I feel super affirmed in my identity when I get to wear suits and when people call me sir or mister. Am I perpetuating the gender binary by engaging in those distinctions? Yeah. A little bit, but they're also very important elements of affirming my gender. And hey, I can also kick back on the binary by saying I'm a dude who likes Downton Abbey and glitter and really sucks at sports. And you know, there are cisgender women who don't like wearing dresses, whether because they don't believe that women should have to or because they just don't like them, and that doesn't make them trans men. There's something beyond all the social constructs of gender, something that we don't understand from science yet that determines that innate sense of gender. It's gotta be something biological that makes us trans to begin with. But many of the feelings that we experience in the day-to-day, especially with regard to gender attribution or how people perceive our gender, does have to do with social constructs. So yes, being trans is a real thing, even if gender is completely socially constructed, because those social constructs are part of what causes you to feel out of place in the gender that you're assigned. Or if not cause, at least exemplify the pressure. And if all of that is still in doubt, the one thing that is not is that your feelings are always valid. Thank you so much for this question. If you want to submit a question to Ask Jack, there are links to all of my social media below, or you can just leave a comment. Also, feel free to weigh in on this meaty discussion down there. Oh, and hey, check out my shirt. It says pizza rolls, not gender roles. One of my patrons, Anna, gave me the shirt at GeekyCon. My patrons are absolutely amazing, and if you want to join the community and support me on Patreon and get things like blog posts, live streams, and even short stories in return, you can go to patreon.com/jacksonbird. Also, because it's on topic, I sell these cool little Deathly Hallows transgender lapel pins, and if you want to get one of those, you can go on over to dftba.com/jacksonbird. All these links are in the description box. Why do people even say URLs to people these days? Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.